Bada boost.
Bala Boost.
Bala Boost.
Because it means the
Bala Boost.
Baal means the owner, the head of the house. Bala Boost. So she is
Susan
your
Sherman Bala
Bala
Boost.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
your
gonna put that
signature.
on a car.
You're
I
damn
love
right.
it.
I'm
Susan,
totally on board with
Have
it.
you watched our podcast yet?
Yes,
What do you think about
love it.
Why do you love it?
Why do you think I pitched myself too well?
Well, actually, you were.
I don't usually pitch myself.
Before,
Who did I DM?
I think you commented on one of our posts and said, I'm next.
No.
Oh yeah.
We need to digress here. Susan, I texted you to be a guest.
No,
On the,
never got it.
On the founding original.
You were on the founding original
That's
list.
Hanukkah
weird as
series.
shit.
Huh?
Yeah, no, I did not. I don't know.
You texted I think you forgot to send the text, maybe.
Huh?
Oh, I feel terrible.
Oh, you did.
That makes
Okay, for the camera.
You did.
that
you
makes
did.
me feel better.
We're featuring
because
a
I thought-
collection of inspiring Jewish individuals from all walks of life. Let me know if you can participate. How about
What
that?
date was that? That's terrible.
That was on December 3rd, 24. So it's right there.
You know what? That is so
But,
unlike
so you know
me.
what we call that in the Jewish tradition? Beshert.
Yeah, it's beshert.
It's beshert.
I know the word bashert.
She knows.
Well,
Well, I
I can't tell
appreciate
you how
having-
excited
She's
I am.
here now.
Yeah, I know. And I can't tell you how
Are
excited
we
I am.
on?
we're on.
We're
Oh
on.
my god.
We've been on.
Okay.
We've been
I
on.
didn't even know. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay.
It's part of the deal.
Yeah, it's fine. I just didn't know.
We just want to have
Thank you for
conversation.
telling me. Okay. Yeah.
No, what I was saying is that I'm personally excited because I've known Susan for about 20 years now, maybe more.
Kind of since I moved here, I think in '93, and you did someone's party. It was a fancy party, and I'm like, whose food was that?
And that was
I think
probably
it's a
a teenager.
Sansone.
May have been.
One of them. It was a thing.
May have been. But you guys used to walk in, you and David used to come to Brennan's when I opened Brennan's with Kevin. Do you remember that?
I do not remember, but I worked with Kevin on his Maryland house a little,
Well-
but I like him a lot. I mean,
The new Maryland house or the old Maryland house?
the new. And I don't really understand that whole concept, if you don't mind me saying. I mean, I love it. I like
The members
feel.
thing?
Yeah. And some guy keeps bugging me on text, whoever the heck the membership guy is. I don't like, for someone like me, I'm not crazy about his tone. But I really don't understand I love the membership club. I think someone should do that. Believe me, we've all talked about it with Zoe. Everybody wants to do a club. And I still don't, really know what's membership, what's not. I'm a little confused. So, but anyway, I think it's a lovely space.
It's a great space. Anyways, this thing that we're doing was born out of this idea that we want to, well, I said earlier, to show St. Louis community at large. The Jews are practically embedded in every facet of society in St. Louis. People have a lot of misconceptions and prejudice about who we are and what we do, and that we kind of walk in our lane, and we're doctors and lawyers, and we live in Creve Coeur, and we whatever. My point was that there is that we have. I was going to say influence, but I was going to say just that we are not a monolith. That we are collections of individuals who are everywhere. We're doing interesting things, whether it's with fashion or with food or with performing arts or with whatever it is. And we also wanted to create an environment, a conversation that is just not heavy and not political around being Jewish, because we couldn't have a conversation about being Jewish without
No, believe me.
baggage.
Let's not go there.
Exactly.
Because I just, it will be too depressing.
So
Disappoint me. So I
anyway,
want to be happy
So
today.
you're gonna be happy today.
Yeah, because I love your egg salad. It makes me happy. Like, I need that damn egg salad intravenous. Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Tell us about the. So Susan, you've done a lot of stuff. You've been kind of a socialite in St. Louis. Mind me the word. Give me a different word. A person
Just a cheerleader.
A cheerleader for. I
city.
love that.
Yeah.
A cheerleader for the city.
Enthusiast, for the city.
Enthusiast for the city. But your recent work is around fashion. Tell us about the fashion fund.
Well, I mean, the fashion fund is like my baby. I've never had so much fun. When, a few civic leaders said, would you start this fashion incubator downtown? Because at the time, 10 years ago, fashion incubators, many that were in old May department stores, of which we had one downtown, were revitalizing communities, whether it was a place in San Francisco or Seattle or Toronto or Philly or St. Louis. So I didn't want to run it, but I am someone who can kind of get a group together and say, need some money, let's start this or whatever. So I saw value in that. But you know why I saw value in it? I started doing research and found that we had a garment district here that, was run by Jewish people.
In St. Louis.
Downtown,
On Washington.
second only to New York. A lot on Washington Avenue. I think there was even 1 or 2 synagogues down there that I found. So I did like a lot of research with the Missouri History Museum on Skinker. You know, uncovering, like, you guys wouldn't even believe. You know, like Women's Wear Daily, that's the fashion Bible today. Well, there was something like that out of St. Louis. I mean, everything was here.
Wow.
Everything was here. Hats, gloves. I mean, some of the buildings are still on Washington Avenue, and that's where we had our incubator. Everything.
Why is that?
Shoes was a huge.
Yeah, because I think St. Louis had a big Jewish population, and I think, fashion is a space where Jewish people have innovated and been in and part of for many, many years. I mean,
Why do you think?
Because Jews have taste.
Period. No, I mean I find it
Well,
interesting.
let me tell you, I think it's a lot of different things. I mean, I don't want to start, generalizing, but I think we are definitely the chosen people. We have taste, we have ingenuity, we have entrepreneurship. I think we know how to run a business. I think there are a million different things. We're smart. It's a hard as shit industry to be in, by the way, to stay afloat. So,
I think a lot of it had to do probably with manufacturing.
Yeah.
Like you said, entrepreneurship, having to solve problems, whether it's engineering issues or manufacturing line. But I also think that the idea of fashion is important to us Jews, that is, because of our because of ritual, because of tradition,
good point,
because of holidays. I remember as a kid that during Rosh Hashanah I would always get a nice white shirt, and I would always get something new, pair of shoes for the holidays.
Yes.
So I would look fresh, so I would look clean. I remember having to dress up when you go to shul, when you go to someone's wedding. I think that
my mother used to dress. I had a brother. I still do. He lives in New York. We're 14 months apart. So she dressed us in Mary Mites and Gay Sprites. And for like every Passover, I remember standing in front of the house, my mom and everybody's holding hands, we're taking the photo or whatever. So it's very interesting that you say that. It just came back to me. We need to get back to that. Rituals and dressing.
I agree. I totally agree.
I mean, I can't stand these schleppers.
Do you feel like
schleppers.
It's just, it's gotten a little ridiculous.
Sure.
I actually really enjoyed, I didn't enjoy the inauguration yesterday, but I enjoyed watching the fashion.
Schleppers, which for sure, I knew no doubt going into this that was going to be her favorite Yiddish word.
A schlumper?
A schlepper. Like
schlepper.
People just schlepping around with schmata rags all day.
Schmata, disgusting.
Yeah.
Schmuck I've used too many times in my life. Yeah, I can give you a lot of different mitzvah, whatever. One time I worked in New York for the New York Philharmonic, not to digress, but it was so interesting because a lot of the crew...
What did you do for them?
PR and I did the special events for their 150th anniversary.
Wow.
Which was unbelievable. Yeah,
Wow.
It was a year's worth of... It was really my favorite job ever. But the stage hands, I remember one very long concert ended early, and this big Irish guy who was like the lead tech, on stage, said, "Ugh, a mitzvah." Like we ended early. Do you know what I mean? Because in New York, everybody speaks Yiddish. Everybody uses.
Yeah.
Everybody speaks Yinglish.
English. I like that.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
The words are so good.
Everything. One of my favorite things in New York is when you cross the Brooklyn Bridge and you enter Brooklyn,
Yeah.
it says Oi. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you enter on the and on the other side, it looks like it's
No, is it the
spelled
Brooklyn?
Yo. It's
I have that work. It's Deborah Cass.
Deborah Cass.
Yes, I
and
have
you know
that
it was
work.
manufactured right here in St. Louis.
Yep, at Robert Lococo.
Really?
Thank you. I'm not. I'm old. I know it all. Okay,
She knows it all.
Yeah, I do.
But you're
No,
clearly passionate about like it's more than just like knowing it all. Like you can hear how passionate you are and have been forever about it.
Well, I'm passionate about the art. You know, I was first of all, Robert. I love, one of my dearest. I mean, he has Oi and Yo at his home. It's in front of the Brooklyn Museum,
Yeah.
and I have a small one in our home, which I love that piece so much. You know, I started ballet at the age of 6, and the love of art, whether you're dancing or not or whatever, you know, so much of my life has been promoting either in-house or on boards, like you guys were talking about performing arts, whether it's, you know, Opera Theater of St. Louis, the St. Louis Symphony, COCA, the New York Philharmonic. I worked for the Atlanta Ballet, the Atlanta Symphony. So it's just in your blood. It's like monster trucks are in your blood, Alex.
Well, I took the nephews to a monster jam over the
Monster
weekend.
jam.
It was like I've never been to one of these events in my entire life.
I don't even know what it is.
Exactly.
What do they
But
wear to monster
You wouldn't
jams?
believe it, man. I mean, talk about schleppers with the outfits that they got on. I mean, no offense to anybody
Yeah.
that gets all dressed up and goes to Monster Jam, but there's some interesting style. Let me
You know,
tell you.
I cooked at Susan's house for a number of parties. Do you remember?
My house in Brentwood that I miss so much.
I love that house. That was a fun house.
It was a great
And
house.
I
It
remember
was-
we did a beautiful thing for Angelique Camra at that house. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? And we did something for when Winslow's home just opened up. We did a big thing there.
Were
Because
you at Winslow's?
I opened it up with Ann.
Well, that's a whole other podcast.
Isn't it? Isn't that crazy?
And I love her so much.
But I cooked at her house a number of times.
Really?
Yeah.
One time, I think
And you're-
Carrie McDowell was in the kitchen, I believe, but I had this thing for Donna Karen, who's Jewish
Yes.
designer. They picked, it was like some big anniversary, and you know, in different cities they picked a thing. And I was new in this home. My husband was out, of course, didn't want anything to do with this damn dinner. And whatever they were fixing, the fire alarms went off.
Oh boy. Not me.
Okay? No. And I didn't know how to turn off the alarm, and I'm calling David at the Racket Club. Someone please help, the fire engine's coming. I mean, this was a Donna Karen national kind of thing where all her peeps hysterical.
It makes it memorable though.
Quite.
That's
Well,
what
I mean,
makes it
absolutely, absolutely.
No, we have to do something again. Let's dream up something again.
love to.
You
I'd
know,
love to.
You've done
really-
you really have done so much more than I would have even ever known. What is like your favorite, like, what's the favorite thing you've ever been involved with? Event, like, if you had to focus on one event, I
You know what
guess.
one thing was, I have to tell you? It was with Susan Barrett. And I really think it was the beginning of the fascination with fashion as an industry and business in St. Louis. It was in 2011, and she did this big show about Alexander McQueen, who was a British designer, very famous. And we did it at Saks Fifth Avenue. Every single table, Tony Montano did the flowers, so every single table was based on a different McQueen design, from the flowers to the tabletop to whatever.
Right.
We had a lot of people come in from all over the world for it.
This was beautiful.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a really
do remember
special
This was
evening.
especially-
Because I think if there's a thread to like what I've done here, I do it for the community. I have so many friends. I love everything. I'm, like I said, a cheerleader for St. Louis, but I also like to think beyond. I mean, let's like have a vision. Let's be a little visionary-ish. You know what I mean? So for me, it's also putting St. Louis on the map as far as the arts, fashion, culture. You see what I'm saying? So
Totally.
we
I
have
totally
this.
see what you're saying.
I think that's why this is so good.
Yeah.
Get it
Thank
out there
you.
nationally.
Thank you.
Let them know we have life
I've
here.
always wanted to, because I'm not from here, obviously. I've lived here most of my life, but I'm not from St. Louis. And there's this idea of kind of a small mentality of doing things good enough for here. Open it, it's good enough for St. Louis. And my thing was, No, I want to do things that could compete in a big city. That if I opened Esca in New York, I think I'll just be as successful, if not more. If I had done Olio in San Francisco, I think it would have been just as successful.
Yeah.
No. So I think that mentality, I think we share. I think that's
I mean,
why
it's
we
world
gravitate.
class. Like,
It's
why
world class.
are we dumbing ourselves down?
And,
You know, whatever, we should not settle. And let me tell you what I've learned about being in the fashion space, because we bring in these big muckety mucks at Wash U.
Sure.
Speaking of fashion, you'll have to come this year. I think we're very close to someone fabulous. But, you know, we've had Michael Kors, Diana, speaking of Jewish, Diana Furstenberg, Michael Kors, you know, whatever. When they come, they are well aware of St. Louis and our fashion history and DNA. Because, well, yeah. They sold to Macy's or Stixbury and Fuller. They've been here on trips where they had to, you know, sell their ties or however Michael Kors started.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when they come, it's like a homecoming. Oh, we know St. Louis. It's so good to hear that.
Yes.
But when they start meeting the fashion students and our emerging brands, like just like all of us, happen to be here, but they could be in New York. They could be anywhere. Some of the talent here, they're blown away. And then they become our ambassadors. You know, they go back and talk about it. Hey, there's something brewing there. We got to get more involved. You know, that kind of stuff.
So
I think that's an incredible message that a lot of people don't know about. But that's what makes everything that you do so successful, because you think outside the box. You're almost a step ahead of everybody else. You are.
Well, that's very sweet to say, but I think,
don't you think?
Monster Jam next year, I'm going. No, I think that goes for so many different industries and people and spaces in St. Louis. I just feel like we do not promote the city like we should. There's no, you know, for years I've said, and listen, God, Greater St. Louis, all the work that everybody's doing, but I feel like we need more. If it were me, I'd say, someone give us $100,000 and I'll find you a great PR firm in New York. You know, because there's some that specialize in cities and everything else. And, you know, you need to kind of get those placements, and
we also
not just by happenstance.
We also constantly be our worst enemies.
We're our own worst
Oh
enemies.
yeah, we constantly shitting about the city, about, you know, and we always run away from here. I know that people, you know, we have incredible art galleries here, but people go outside of St. Louis to buy art. We have
Well, that's a whole other thing.
You know, we have great restaurants in St. Louis, but people come in and they order bland, familiar food, and they're not allowing a lot of chefs to be adventurous because of it. But they'll go to New York and have no problem, you know, ordering, eating escargot or whatever it is.
I was just going to say,
So
that's
my
ridiculous.
point is.
Whereas when I go to a restaurant, you know, my inclination is to say, make me whatever you love.
Totally.
What are you most proud of? Do you know what I mean? Like, be adventuresome. Take advantage of someone like this being in the community.
And I think he hates when I do it too, when I go in there, because I'm always like, what should I get? What do I want? And I'm not even like a bit, it was just a few weeks ago, I went to Nixta, the new spot, and I was like, I'm not really that big of a fish guy, whatever. And Ben's like, trust me, this is what you get. And it's like something
You have
I
to
would
come to the new Nixta, by the way.
I want to. And
It's
this
amazing.
Florentine is like my favorite. I love that so much. I think it's so, it's just perfect.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, people need to explore more and be comfortable in St. Louis, be comfortable with being a little uncomfortable.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we'll surprise you.
But that's life, right? So let's hear a little bit about Susan's. So you're not from St. Louis.
I didn't study a Torah portion for today. Are you
Well,
going to start grilling me on the Torah?
But you're not from St. Louis, right?
I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, originally.
She says Southern girl, she says.
And then I went to the University of Georgia. Then I lived in Paris for 3 years with my husband because he was an attorney with a New York law firm over there.
Okay.
I remember that.
And then I came back to New
hearing
York
about
and then
that.
here in '93. That's my trajectory. My husband's from here originally.
Right.
They've been members of TE, Temple Emmanuel, forever.
Did you have a
I'm a
bat
member of
mitzvah?
Temple
I did not,
Emmanuel.
but I was confirmed. My brother had a bar mitzvah.
You know, I'm a
exactly
member of
what it
Temple
was.
Emmanuel.
Oh, I'm so happy. I think I heard that.
Yes.
I think it's becoming the cool temple.
I love that temple. It's
I
great.
think it's becoming
Cool
the
temple.
chic temple.
Yeah. Well, my son this
So
year
happy.
is getting bar mitzvah.
Okay.
Of course, his mother is not Jewish, and he. I didn't even have a conversation about it. He came up to me and
I
said,
read
"Hey,
that somewhere.
I'd like to be bar mitzvah," and I'm like, "That's incredible."
Yeah.
Obviously, I just wanted to make sure that he's not doing it for me; he's doing it for himself. But we basically shopped for synagogues. Is what we did. We went to a few of them. But you can't go to an Orthodox synagogue and have my technically non-Jewish kid bar mitzvah there, right? Because they would.
But listen, that's what's so wonderful about TE, the Reform Synagogue. You know what
it's a
I'm
Reform
saying?
synagogue, but there are other Reform synagogues.
True.
But we all really love
something very welcoming, and it's small, it's chic, the architecture's unreal.
And that's what. So we live in a Bernoulli house in Frontenac.
Hello.
And my kids, my daughter, 8 years old, walked into this temple and she said, "Oh, it kind of feels like home in here."
Oh.
And she immediately recognized the architecture, which was really, really interesting. Anyway, we loved it. That's what we're always going to be bar mitzvah. We're very happy about it.
And Elizabeth's wonderful, our rabbi.
Elizabeth is great.
See, my husband, David, I don't know if you know this because you just joined, but David
I saw his picture on the wall.
one of the presidents. We had to search not for one, but for 2 new rabbis while he was there because one didn't work.
Oh, wow.
And I always said, we had to entertain these people, everything. I wanted the 2 gay rabbi. It was a gay couple, but the rabbi I loved the most was from San Francisco, and they didn't want the job, but they were my favorites. But I will say that I've always said in my whole life, I want to be the first lady of something. Like, I'd love to be like the first lady of, New York.
Well, you're the first lady of St. Louis in my mind.
No, do you know what I said? When David and I were there, I'm like, I'm the first lady of big shit.
That's hysterical.
But I had to act that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what went into that?
I was on the bema, I had to say the prayers, I had to light the damn candles, I had to interview prospective rabbis, which is not the easiest thing in the world.
For sure.
You have to, it's like fraternity
You're
rush.
entertaining them, you're having them over for dinner, all those different things.
Setting up dinners, trying to be impressive, trying to woo
Do you
them.
cook? I don't remember if you cook or don't.
She hires you to cook.
Water.
Huh?
I can barely boil water. David cooks.
David cooks.
Yeah. Yeah, he loves it, especially over COVID. Like, he really got into it.
He really got into it. And your son was kind of, when I was cooking at your house, your son would always come and
he's totally into it now.
He would come into the kitchen and kind of
he's adorable.
interested.
Yeah, he's doing a metalsmithing class at Craft Alliance, so he stops by.
Cool.
He goes to Florentine.
I love it.
Yeah.
He was very artsy, even as a
Well,
kid.
he went to the Savannah College of Art.
Oh, I wonder where he gets it from.
I wonder where he gets
I know.
it from.
I have very different kids, but he's great and he's here. Thank you for asking. Yeah, he loves food. In fact,
And your daughter?
I'm going to call him and say, what do you want from here?
And your daughter, is she in town?
No, Sylvie lives in L.A.,
Okay.
West Hollywood, and works for Aloe, the yoga brand.
Sure.
The
yoga
brand.
brand.
At their headquarters. She's the senior social media strategist.
Well, how about
And
that?
who gives a shit about that? All I know
Fashion
is she
NPR.
gets 70% off everything.
At Aloe, that's a good deal.
And her mother loves it. You know what I mean?
Susan, do you like thrifting?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, this is great. So Ben just told me recently, he's like, I never buy anything I wear. It's nothing's new.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, thrifting.
I mean,
well, let me tell you, where do you thrift?
90% of my clothes.
Goodwill?
I
No,
thrift
he does-
everywhere.
Yeah.
I go to garage sales, estate sales, I go to shops.
The exchange.
Yeah.
I love going to the
the
resale
National
shop.
Council of Japan.
Yeah, that's one of my
and
favorites.
they're expanding. Do you know that?
Yeah, they're buying the building. They bought the building next door. But I always thrift.
Well, let me
I pull
tell
it
you-
off though, don't I?
Oh,
You look
I
like $1
think
million
he's
bucks. Let me tell you this.
unbelievable.
I think what's important about thrifting, resale, whatever you want to call it, it extends the life of the garment. I don't know if you guys know, but fashion is one of the biggest polluters of any industry in the world. It's unbelievable. Like a Ralph Lauren, for instance, would rather throw their stuff in a landfill than put it on sale at Bergdorf Goodman. Do you know what I mean? Because it hurts the brand. So all of these clothes are going to waste. So that's why circular fashion, sustainability is the most important thing you can do for this industry, and you're doing it, Ben.
That's my question's always been.
That's incredible.
You are a poster child for fashion.
My question with fashion is like these trends come in and out, right? And like, what makes that?
Well, there's some
We're
things.
buying too much. It starts with Pantone colors, what colors in. It's like the big, designers kind of decide what, and then they all start copying each other.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know what? If it's burgundy, it's on everything at all the men's shows.
But for me, taste
Milan.
is taste, and there's timeless. When you pull it off, when you care about accessorizing and about little details in anything, it becomes like it just.
Let me tell you something.
Tell us.
The people that
Bestow
need
some
the
knowledge
it
on
bag
us.
of the season, or that have to have, you know what? They don't have style, and style comes from within. It's in your heart, okay?
It's not just brands, right?
How you look today is fabulous. Do you know what I
Thank
mean? And
you.
you're in a hoodie. You look like $1 million because it's you. You have a beautiful
You have
smile in
to-
person.
Thank you.
So please,
Style
you
is
know,
not brands, right? That's a big mistake. That
Style is not brands.
I don't particularly love sometimes when I go to like shows or places where everybody's competing who's looking better than other, where they just keep wearing the loudest thing just because they want to be noticed.
Well, that's the easy way to do it. But like someone like Iris Apfel, another Jew, died at 100. You know what I mean? She has a huge auction coming up at Christie's. By the way, you should look. I'm dying. Okay. You know, Iris is a little funny. The blue glasses, whatever. But she has style, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because it's her background. She used to go with her husband all over the world, and they
But
buy
it
textiles.
also it doesn't feel
forced.
That's how
It
I
doesn't feel forced. Like somebody was asking me, said, "We never see you without an escort or a thing." I said, "I have maybe 300 or 400 silk
of those.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I started, but I think I started in high school. I really think that in high school I was already wearing
Eccentric
scarves
items, more
and thing, and it just kind of kept going. I never loved ties. So instead of a tie,
That's
I always,
probably it.
I
Do you
always-
understand?
And now I just wear.
Do you ever
it.
wear a bolo tie? That could be cool on you.
What's a bolo tie?
It's the Western. They're like too long. You know what I mean? With a thing that could be interesting on you.
What
I
you
never
brought up
wore
a
it.
good point. That just made me think. Truly, when I feel like I really started to become the person that I am, and kind of was when I embraced I'm not really a sport coat tie kind of guy. I'm really not. I'm not like a just a short sleeve polo guy in the summer. I'm more like a streetwear. I feel like fashion is a key piece of when you kind of when you figure out that fashion is when you become you. And you just mentioned I'm just wearing a hoodie and joggers, but this is me. That doesn't mean I'm dressed down like a schlepper or anything like that.
Well,
but I feel there's certain events where yes, that hey, you probably need to have a shirt or a tie on, but doing it your own way and being comfortable doing it your way is when you kind of become the best of you, and it's fashion.
So to me, fashion is communication, right? You're communicating to the world who you are and what you are. My son used to complain about why do I have to wear this or that when we go this place or that place? And for me, it was well, it's about respecting the place and respecting the people that host us and things of that nature. And I always tell them, you can put on whatever you want as long as it's within the perimeters of the event that we're going to. So this interaction with the world, that's what fashion to me. It's like expressing who you are and yourself in a place. So it's a lot about...
but let me tell you the other thing that I love is because... really, what people don't see about the fashion fund, maybe they see our events or a speaker or whatever, is the work that we do with kids. So, as you were saying, Alex, it makes you feel, these kids that are maybe 5 or 6 years old are painting on sneakers. They're thrifting. I talked to someone yesterday, a partner at Edward Jones. He goes, I have this high school age son. He went out in the other day, these plaid pants, but I'm I'm not going to go there because that's him. He's an individual, whatever. It's so fascinating. And the most stylish, fabulous, wonderful people are the fashion kids. Lindenwood fashion students, Washington, or high school. There are high school fashion programs here in St. Louis.
That's the big thing.
But I love your message and what you just said.
Yeah, and look, I've become a real sneaker guy. Sneakers are a big thing, right? And the suit with the sneaker to always kind of give it your own flavor.
What are your?
Right?
Let me see. Okay.
Today I just got these. These are the new Nike Vomeros. They're weatherproof.
But where
they're kind of
so you can wear them in the snow.
They've got a bit of a Balenciaga type thicker look.
But do you go online for them? I'm kind of.
I go online for them.
For sneakers.
For sneakers, StockX. Sneakers is an interesting
guy
market.
in the Foundry. There's a good
a
store. I like that.
Sanction.
Yeah.
Sneakers are an interesting thing because there's so many. It's become kind of like handbags. There's so many dupe
But you see,
options.
I have to. I like them, but they've become too trendy, and I'm allergic to trends. As soon as something becomes too trendy, I'm like, I gotta move.
But it's the shoe. It depends on the shoe.
I gotta.
I think
remove
it doesn't.
myself.
I think maybe you would find something maybe more
No, I-
vintagey or something
yeah,
that is
I
more
like-
you. Do you
I
know what I'm
like-
saying?
yeah, I like shoes, but-
I'll tell you, I learned more about sneakers from my nephew in New York because when he was this big,
yeah.
he was buying and selling, schlepping me to
Yeah,
Supreme.
you see my
and all-
son.
The market of it is.
But they
is-
learn
my
business,
son.
you guys.
They learn
yeah.
business because
My
they
son.
buy at
Right.
this price,
Do
sell
you
for
believe
double.
it? More kids.
It's unbelievable.
So I was in Detroit, and my son texts me, and he goes, "You gotta go check out this place. You know, it's famous. Actually, you would love that place. It's basically for me, it was like a museum to streetwear, particularly to sneakers.
What was it called? Do
I
you
forget
remember?
now. I can
Oh,
pull it up,
God,
but
yeah.
it's in the hood. And the interesting thing about it was that they had a radio station, like a podcast.
Out of the-
inside
I
the
love
store.
it.
Yeah.
So these guys are on air. You can see them
Oh, I
like
love
on air, and you go through, and these are kind of one of a kinds. You know, a lot of imperfect things that
yeah.
you know they stop production on. A lot of commission stuff
Yeah.
because you gotta, you know. And so this was really, you know, I'm like I was never.
Do you know
exposed
Brock
to it.
Seals? Do you ever?
Yeah,
do you know
custom
him?
artist here.
Yeah, he does some
Really
really
good
good
guy.
work on.
I don't.
Really good
yeah.
guy. He collaborated with the Cardinal. He's done a bunch of stuff, but I
But he's
remember he
painted a
designed,
lot of shit. But he's very talented.
He
He's a-
designed the hat the Cardinals wore on, I think it was African American history.
Oh, wow.
Heritage.
That's cool. That's
It's
cool.
a lot of cool local stuff, but that's another example of like local artists.
I love that
That's
you're
cool.
talking about kids and high school kids because these kids don't necessarily have the kind of money that it takes to really like go in and buy couture or buy big name
No.
designers, and they're just doing it by thrifting, by actually being creative at home, and you know.
Do you know this
so-
place called 40 Elephants? Have
I
you
don't.
heard of it in Webster?
No.
It's a really interesting concept. They told me it's done a lot in Europe. I don't know. But anyway, you go there, you buy a rack. You pay for a rack for a month. You dump your stuff off. They'll merchandise it for you, whatever, and then you keep track of what you sell. But it's like having a rack as a, quote, boutique.
Oh,
And
how cool!
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's really
so,
cool.
It's called 40.
40 Elephants. It's
Oh my
right
God, I
on
gotta
the
go
main
check it out.
drag of Webster.
I wanna go check
or
it out.
Kirkwood, I'm sorry.
Oh, Kirkwood.
Yeah, that's
Kirkwood.
cool.
I'm so sorry. So it's in Kirkwood. But I love the concept. But you should go. Okay, Becky Damian, our
Yep.
friend, has Izzy Polanco. I don't know if you heard. You know. But what made me think of it is when you're talking about all these thrifting and everything else, t-shirts. Kelly Malone. If she listens to this, I love you. She's with Caleres. They're our biggest funder. Anyway, Kelly Malone has a
Yeah,
rack
I know
there.
Kelly well.
You know Kelly. But Kelly does not mind going through, almost like Found by the Pound. Like she goes to these Goodwills in every city. She's really into the rock and roll shirts and this, that, and the
I
other.
love it.
But she has an amazing
That's an
rack
awesome
there, you
concept.
guys. Kelly's rack, Izzy's rack, Becky's rack.
Yeah.
I'm going to do, I mean, for me, I
Yeah.
think it's great because it's not like you have to do a whole big thing. Drop some stuff. They merchandise it. They take a little.
You just drop
do,
it off.
And they put your name on it.
That's cool.
They put your name on the
I'm gonna
rack.
have a rack. Next
See,
time
do
you go, I'm gonna
understand?
have a rack.
Well, I'm going to tell them.
Yes, I'm
I
gonna
like
have a
it.
rack.
Because it's also great for, I don't know, if you're promoting yourself
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
fun.
I mean,
It's part of the brand.
I would go shop if they said, like they wanted the fashion fund to have a rack for 12 months, which I think is interesting.
I actually love it a lot.
You know, but isn't it like I would go if that woman on her Instagram said, Ben and Alex each are taking racks. I'd
Yeah.
get my buns in there
I think
to
it's
see
cool.
what it is.
We need a rack.
Do
We
you
need a
love
rack.
it?
Yeah.
Or do it with your son.
Yeah, we need a rack.
I like this
For
concept.
sure.
Yeah.
We need a rack.
So 40
That's
elephants.
fun. That's fun.
Incredible.
See, fashion's so interesting, and I love how people are entrepreneurial here and have chosen to build their brands
Yeah.
here.
Can Ben be in the fashion show at the
You know
Jan-
that? Do you know
They
that?
should
Jan-
stick them in.
So here-
tell, yes.
Come on.
Confession.
They need like 4 more models.
You know that I came here as a junior in high school, and I went to Parkway North, West County, and I took a fashion design class. Ben and
Oh,
20 other black girls. That's the only people that were in the class.
oh
was
my God. I
Mrs.
love it.
Tobias.
Oh, I had Mrs. Tobias.
I love Mrs. Tobias.
Oh my
and she said you should. She was a home eds teacher, but I remember like I took a cooking class with her and I
Yeah.
took a fashion class
Yeah,
with her.
yeah.
It was
And
called home ec at the time.
Yeah.
and cooking class, I basically, she said, I retire. You teach the class, because cooking class for her was opening cans and stuff like
That's
this.
hysterical.
And she said, I'm like, this is not how you cook it. Let me show you how to make a proper omelet.
That is
Ben
the
was
best.
poaching eggs and
I was teaching those girls how to do basic things. It was
Unreal.
hysterical. It was natural to me.
Yeah.
I was
I love it.
barely speaking English.
I love it.
But then, like, I became like super obsessed with fashion design, and actually applied to the FIT. Didn't get in because I was kind of lazy. I didn't really put together the. But yeah, my mom will tell you that I had like posters of fat Karl Lagerfeld in the on my wall, and interesting.
Okay, we need to
Helmut
get you
Lang,
more
and-
involved. We need to
Isn't it
do
interesting?
something.
We need it.
So
We're
fashion
ready.
design before cooking was my primary interest. as
Well, I had
So,
no idea.
How about that?
Already.
It's just all about being creative and curious.
And now, here in town, over the years, I've collaborated with Skiff, with Nina at Skiff.
Yes.
I created shirts. They're called the Ben shirt. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
No.
Oh, they're great. They're amazing shirts.
Is she still on the hill? Where is she now?
She's not on the
Olive?
hill. She's on Olive.
Yeah, okay. I gotta go because I love her stuff.
Yeah,
I
her
haven't
stuff
been
was
in years.
great. And she, because I was a young restaurateur, I was in the kitchen, but I didn't like the chef coats. Or I actually liked the chef coats. I just didn't like the way they look. I'm like,
Well, yeah.
they could be a little
Yeah.
more. So I went to Nina and I said, hey, I want you to create me a shirt. And she goes, what's the shirt going to look like? I said, make it look like a chef coat from here on up, and make it 3/4 so I can work. So I have like hundreds of these shirts, that she created. They're called the Ben shirt. So for a period of time, that's all I rocked was
Okay,
my own shirt.
The
I gotta
band
see.
shirt.
Would you send me a
I
picture of
love
that?
it.
Because I
Yeah.
gotta post it.
I love that.
And then so I love the whole. And for me, fashion is more than just clothes, right? I've created a fragrance with my buddy Neil Barton at St. Rita. Did you know about
What did
that?
it smell like? What were the notes?
deli.
What were the notes?
Well,
Deli.
do you know? It's not a deli.
It was a
It's like
fabulous-
Kramer.
No, it
This
had,
smells like the ocean,
yeah,
the beach.
No, yeah, it had the notes of corned beef.
It actually has the notes of the souk. If you go in Morocco,
Yeah.
it's homage to my Moroccan mother. It's tobacco
I haven't been. I'm dying to go.
and citrus.
Yeah.
I'm doing a trip.
I'm in. Please tell me when.
8 couples.
Okay,
It's going to be February 26th, just a year from now.
I'm in.
Hysterical.
Say- know about
Save
that?
me a
I'm
space.
ready for it too.
With I forget the name of the traveling agency, Modern Adventure.
Oh, I'd love it so much. David will go too.
We're doing a
It's
live,
high end. It's
we're doing a
beautiful.
live pod from there.
It'd be
Live
great.
show.
You got to do a live show.
Live show.
And I haven't been to India. I'm waiting
I've
for
never
Anjali
been.
Kamra and Atul to take me.
Oh,
They keep going
God.
without me. Gem Palace and all these places. I'm like, excuse me.
What's your favorite place in the world?
Well, I really love Paris. I fell in love with it after living there.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? We go
Where'd you
back
live?
a lot.
Which arrondissement?
I was in the fifth.
The fifth.
So I was right across from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The Seine was there. We were on the third floor walk up. And when the
Did you have
bateau
kids?
mouche would go by,
Did you have kids
our
at the
whole
time?
apartment would light up the boats, whatever. I did not have kids then.
Oh,
So we
wow.
traveled a ton. Like, I love
Oh.
Greece. I mean, every weekend we were going somewhere else. I love Spain. I kind of love wherever. I had a great trip to Argentina that I fell in love with, I just love wherever I am. I just like to travel. I think if you do not travel, where are you getting your inspiration?
Yeah, we just booked my honeymoon to Italy and Greece. We're excited.
Beautiful.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait.
I'm taking the family to Italy
You're gonna have a
in
great-
March.
I can't
Yeah.
wait. Yeah,
Next month.
yeah.
But folks, I just want to say this. Susan Sherman is maybe one of the best communicators that I've come across. With not just passion, but with just love of people and love of connecting and networking. It doesn't matter that she's in fashion or that she's in
Yeah.
PR or that she's in. So thank you so much.
Oh, this was a
appreciate it.
blast.
Your willingness to do everything and help.
I mean, what Becky said, Alex is going to call you. I'm
Oh
like,
my
oh my God,
gosh.
this is better than the Today Show. I mean, that's the best news.
But really, I mean
I've-
it. I mean
Yeah,
it, Susan.
You're sweet, and I feel the same way about you. And Alex, you're a menschy,
Oh my
mensch.
gosh.
Can we say mensch?
Of course.
Too.
Mensch.
Thank you.
That's actually probably my favorite English
A
word.
mensch.
A mensch.
a mensch.
You're both
We
menches.
try to be menches.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you
thank
so
you
much.
for having me on, and good luck.
And you're a
I think
balabuste.
This is one of the
You know what a
best things.
balabuste is?
I agree
No.
with you. Whatever
Balabuste.
it
You know
is.
what a balabuste?
No.
Okay, balabuste it means the woman of the house, the boss.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
Susan
Bada
Sherman.
boost.
No
Is that
question.
Jewish? Is
That's
that Yiddish? Bada boost.
Balabuste.
Balabuste.
because it means the
Balaboost.
Baal means the owner, the head of the house. Balaboost. So she is
Susan
your
Sherman
Balaboost.
Balaboost.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
your
gonna put that
signature.
on a card.
You're
I
damn
love
right.
it.
I mean, I'm going to do that.
Let people figure
You
out
know,
what it
Andre
means.
Leon Talley, the last thing I'm going to say, because the late Andre Leon
Yeah.
Talley, who we brought here,
Yeah.
he called me Generalissimo. So I do have that printed on
You
cocktail
are.
napkins.
Is that right?
Yeah, someone
That's
gave
too
those to me for
funny.
my birthday, yeah.
Balaboost.
But I like this better.
I
Because
love
it connects to your.
Yeah, my heritage, my
Heritage.
rich Jewish
Balaboost.
heritage.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, seriously.
Okay, love you
Thank you.
guys.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having
This
me.
was amazing.